SoFi stock's been on a roll, guys, since covering the break within this weekly cup and handle structure from the $13 to $14 range. We've entered a parabolic run up, and now we're very close to our $25 price target, which we did set down at these lower levels, guys, since the break. With that being said, my name is Dylan. I'm Dylan's Trades. We're going to get straight into this technical analysis breakdown. First, going over to STEM on the weekly analysis. On the weekly analysis, guys, we've been following this cup and handle structure breakout since these $12, $13 levels. Right, a very obvious downtrend for about a year, into about a year or so consolidation. They break this descending triangle, right? A very nice higher low being set, retesting this descending trend line. Since then, we had a massive uptick in price action, formulating this beautiful cup-like structure. Then we enter this handle phase where it's just a consolidation, guys, getting ready for that next movement. Can the buyers get that next leg within price action? And they did. They explosively broke out of this range around this, $13 level. We really mentioned we just loved this consolidation, holding towards the top, getting very, very tight, pinching out. And then this was the breakout candle, guys, breaking over this range after holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, attempting to reject from this level, ultimately closing above. Since then, guys, we've just seen a lot of strong candles. We know that SoFi in the weekly analysis is prone to reversals within these current doji candles. When we jump to the past, guys, over here, whenever we got to the top of this very, very important range, which is the price target, right, this $24 to $25 range, we typically do start to revert. Hence, this doji candle, we revert, right? A doji candle, some reminisce, very similar psychology, revert. Over here, another, a couple wicks and large bodies, very similar to a doji candle, indecisive like activity, followed by another nasty candle, another hammer candle, and revert. So doesn't mean we got to revert, guys, but this lets us know that after this very euphoric movement, guys, exiting this cup and handle structure, around the 1350 to be exact zone. Since then, we've been on a parabolic run, and to see this doji candle printed right at this last bar's high, it lets us know that if we see the continuation over 22, we probably see a very nice strong wide bar and another nice strong movement for the bulls, getting us closer to that $25 price target, which we did set when we hit our first one at 1840, which we did set at that 1350 range when we broke out here, guys. So we could hit that price target a lot sooner than we think, right? If we were pressed with this candle into this zone, which is the price target, it would make sense for a structural perspective and just simple technical analysis to reverse for a little bit till we're moving higher. But as of now, guys, there is very much 50-50 on the weekly. We just know that we're targeting these very obvious highs, where in the past we had some very strong momentum, and we had this beautiful descending channel break with this bullish engulfing. We sprinted here until we completely flip 180 at this $24 to $25 level. We flip down. Another nice setup, right? We break over the top with this massive bullish engulfing. We come down for a little bit, and then a big breakout, a lot of momentum before completely reverting at this level. We've seen this trend formulate, and this is only the next logical level to target. So that really is as simple as that. On the weekly analysis, we will be pushing this $25 region. It seems just inevitable. Now is the question, though, looking at the weekly, is this doji going to lead us to that next wide bar or that next dip? It very much is in the areas of now. So this is a good time to go shift over to the medium-term analysis, being the daily chart, so we can get an even more in-depth analysis of the stock price to get that decision. If you guys have been following the update, you know that we've been following this blue ascending trend line since these lower levels, going as low as these $15, $16 regions. And we hypothesized, just due to the data that we've been seeing, guys, that this trend line will hold us to these upper $20 levels. And here we are, guys. We've topped out at $22.74, and we've been holding this ascending trend line very aggressively. Buyers will attempt and successfully defend and plant their flag at this level for multiple days at a time. Whenever we get to this level, we go higher. It's just been a very good, higher low opportunity where the buyers have been very aggressively stepping up on. Really for 20 days out of the last 25, a lot of strong price action here. So we're obviously seeing stock price hold this level very, very hard. If you guys followed the last analysis, we mentioned over here, we're likely to see 1, 2, or 3 days of consolidation until moving to the next leg. And that's what we did, guys. We did make that video around that $21 region. Since then, we did consolidate for 1, 2, 3 days, touching this ascending trend line, formulating the next higher low, and moving higher. We didn't move to $22.74 till the party's being a little bit short-lived. And that's notable right away on SoFi, as we had this set up multiple times, right? first and foremost on the hourly analysis, right? We got to this major level. We held there for like, about 10 tight hours on the hourly. It's better seen here. Well, we held very, very tight on a major level, and then we broke out. Over here, we suspected consolidation under this 1840 till a breakout. That's what we did. We held very, very tight for breaking over this high, and then a big movement up. And this has been a trend, guys. So we're seeing the third time this happened. A lot of wicks at this level. Since this breakout, we pressed up here once, twice, 3, 4, 5. We got the consolidation, which we expected, and now we're breaking over the top. But we're seeing this run up from this pattern be a little bit short-lived at that 2274. So right away, just seeing that we're up 60% within the last 3 weeks. We're falling a little bit short from this, pattern where stock price comes up. We reach this ascending trend line, and we dip. Typically hugging at these highs, hugging at these highs, hugging at these highs, right? Then we spike up, come down, and now we're a little bit short-lived, guys. We have a decent move up, but now we're kind of curling down. So this is the spot where are we going to hold this ascending trend line here, right, and make another sharp movement up likely, or are we going to drop? So that's really what we're looking like on the daily analysis, guys. And as of now, it's very clear what level we need to hold. The level we were basing at, right? This was the breakout level. We pressed here for 1 day, 2, 3, 4, 5 at this level before getting the breakout above it, just very, very clean, being at that 2137 floor. And that is the best way to look and analyze this stock. If we break, we'll move it a little bit lower just to be safe. That 2135 level strong. It would make sense if broken beneath that level to enter some evidence of a dip or consolidation, being that this was the breakout level, once again being this very obvious focal point. On the daily, we watch for that movement of about 10% or whatever it was since breaking out, right? But we're also dropping from this ascending trend line. So that's a double break, which gives a very high confidence yield that, you don't always have to get crushed and get smoked. I don't think that'll happen. I think it's a good probability. We're thinking far out here, guys, that we enter some remnants of a consolidation, another flag. This one being on the daily. We've seen a lot of micro flags on the hourly, but I think there's a good probability if we do pull back here, we have a massive movement up, a very strong flagpole-like structure led by likely to be maybe a consolidation, guys, chopping around, getting tight in this flag before making the next run to push up to this $25 level. So I think it's a very real possibility, guys. If 2134 is defended, we're at a double padded support, though, to play the contrary opinion, right? We're at this major breakout level, which we were hovering at for quite some time. We're retesting that zone. We got the break and the retest. We know break and retest have that nice upside momentum where we could push up, pushing past this 2274 high and maybe reaching our price target quicker than we thought. Just seeing the massive run we've had, we're already coming back with a little bit of weakness, just being that this run has been short-lived, already reverting back down to this level. I am leading on the side that we do break 2134, enter about a couple weeks of just dull price action, not a significant drop, but I do believe, once again, a flag of some remnants, something within this structure. With that being said, guys, let's go jump over to the hourly analysis so we can wrap up this full image and get a very comprehensive technical analysis. From the weekly analysis, right, we more lean neutral. It is very hard to say looking at the weekly just due to we're still pushing this $25 price target with a blue sky territory until we reach this level. Centering back to the daily, though, just seeing a little bit of the weakness right within this higher low trend coming down to this ascending trend line. Right now, we're kind of deviating from it, kind of curling back down to it quick. It is a little bit of bearish activity, but we are at a double padded support. There's a very good probability we do bounce here. Flip it over to the hourly live, guys. This is why we do multi-time frame analysis. You can get a multi-time frame perspective, and it really does make a difference, guys. That's why a lot of these successful traders do this. So on the hourly perspective, you see how strong this ascending trend line is. Technically, we're a little bit below it, guys, but you can move these around a little bit on the hourly. It does give a different perspective on the daily. You could arguably have the touch points here. So right away, we're holding at the spot on the hourly, guys, and what this is telling us is, once again, we've seen a very common pattern. We've seen stock make the big movement up. We get pretty tight within some sort of a pullback, a choppy consolidation. We reach towards the bottom within the ascending channel, and then we have the next movement. The next movement, we get into another tight consolidation. This one not quite getting to the bottom of this channel, but we do see a nice big movement. Entered another consolidation, guys, which we called it in the last video. We're likely to break over the top, which we did, being very, very short-lived. Just a very strange dip here. I mean, we had all the momentum. We've been sticking to a very strong pattern, and it really just did come out of nowhere, guys. This is a pretty meaningful candle here. being this big bearish engulfing, which does have a nasty wick on top. This is a pretty nasty bullish reversal sign, but we do see stock price in the bull stepping up on this major breakout level, right? Stepping up, showing a morning star reversal here. So technically we're seeing, the break and the retest. I just not in love with how this thing reversed at these highs. Just very unusual. We haven't seen that within this run up. It doesn't always mean, once again, that we will dip, but as a technical analyst, it's good to think in opportunities where the retail investors won't. And we could see short-term bearish activity if we do breach below this level, right? Breaching the higher low, higher high trend, right? We're kind of showing this bearish flip within price action, and we would be breaking a double pattern support. So as of now in the hourly, it's very hard to say, guys. But what we can't say with confidence is that if we do break this low that we're clearly basing at as of now, trying to retest, we should be entering that phase of consolidation, which we've been mentioning the whole video. Probably chopping around for a week and a half, or just having a momentary dip before eventually heading up higher and hitting our $24 to $25 price target, guys. The price target's still on the channel, right? We still feel very, very confident within that. We've been following this breakout since these $13, $14 levels, and it definitely does appear we're going to hit that. But as far as a short-term perspective, we can't bat an eye to, this bearish activity that is very early and young within the movement. If we do crush when we start to push up over, roughly around that 2250 level, and we have continuation come Monday, the trend is your friend, guys. I mean, the stock has been a beast. If we start curling up, there is no short opportunity for people to step in or for bulls to, take some profit here, shove stock price lower. This is the level to watch, guys. Keep an eye on that 2134 zone. Strong price action around there will determine the next week or so of trend. If you found any value in the video today, guys, consider dropping a like, a subscription, all that. I appreciate you guys watching the channel, man. Much appreciated for the 1,000 subscribers. We're going to keep going strong, keep these updates. We'll do these 1 to 2 times per week. Alrighty, guys, have a good day. Take care. Trade smart and peace.